Welcome back to OATS Uncut, Orator Academy Talks Uncut, where we like to keep our conversations real, relevant, and relatable. Talking about keeping it relatable, and as I mentioned in the previous podcast, that recently I was at the Pride picnic, and earlier this year in the spring, we were at a celebration, and there was a celebration, a documentary titled Hope for Spring. It was on the life of a very young boy who we lost too early. He was still in his early teens, Shiv Kulkarni. And the person behind that documentary, the mastermind, the master craftsman, was this young man, Armaan Rochlani. Armaan, welcome to Oats Uncut.
Thank you for having me.
Armaan, I was very impressed with your work in that, and as I texted you soon after that documentary, I was bawling my eyes out. It was so compelling. You are a very young person yourself. There was a level of maturity and depth when it came to the emotion that you documented in that particular movie or documentary. Take us on that journey. What was going on? How did you come about making that short film?
So I've never made a documentary before this. I've never, even thought I would do it. Like it didn't even cross my mind making a documentary. And then, of course, when I'm wrong, my mom is always there to correct me. And so she came and we were just sitting there one day, and I didn't have a job. I was fresh out of college.
That's what moms are for.
That's
by
what
the
moms
way.
are for.
Thank
That's
you.
what moms are
Yes.
for. And I'm fresh out of college. I don't have a job. I'm frantically looking. I'm like, what am I going to do with my life? And every day I go on social media and I see jobs are down. Like no one's getting jobs. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
not just me, but that doesn't make it any better.
Doesn't make it any better.
And it's the only time in my life since starting my passion for film that I haven't had a side project. I haven't had a short film or a sitcom or writing project I'm working on. And I was telling my mom this, and she said she was just coming from a meeting with Shilpanti.
That's Shiv's mother.
Yes, and she said, why don't you do a documentary on that? And I was on their whole story, and I said, I could. I mean, I feel disconnected from it. I don't he was my brother's age, so I didn't, I was like, he knew my brother. I didn't know the story as well as he did or they did. I'm like, what makes me the right person to tell the story? She said, go take the meeting, see if you can, pitch the idea to them and see if you want to do it. I'm like, okay. So I went there, and I think right when I got there to their house, I was knocking on the door. I was like, I got like a feeling. I was like, I should do this. Like, this is something I have to do.
See, mom knows.
Mom knows. It's intuition. Mine's getting there. It's not as strong as hers. But I think after my first meeting with them, I went there, and I heard them, like the whole family talking, and the main thing I noticed was that we were sitting there, and I was talking about how best to handle the topic of suicide, because obviously it's a very taboo subject, especially in the Indian community. And they were so open and like freely talking about it that it kind of caught me off guard. Mm-hmm. Because even though I'm young and I'm in a generation where talking about these things is like a little more normalized than it is in like older generations,
True.
It was still so normalized in this home. And I was like, that's kind of what I want other people to get from this documentary. And that's kind of that when I was meeting with them, that's in my head. I'm like, this is what I have to, like, this is the goal of the documentary.
Mm-hmm. So the thing is, you just mentioned actually as you were talking that you were looking for work, you didn't have a job, so your mother suggested. Let's address that a little bit. Yes, it's hard to find a job these days. No matter what profession, what expertise, what line you are pursuing, I see a lot of really capable young people sitting at home jobless. But then those are people, most of them are in the very predictably safe paths. You, on the other hand, have gone off the safe path and chosen the creative path, which we all enjoy. We all savor the creativity.
Yeah.
But how many of us have the courage to pursue that path, because it's always been unpredictable, irrespective of the job market?
Yeah, I think, well, this is a quote I think about all the time, and I'm going to butcher it completely. But it's like, it was like an old quote from, I think it was one of those old philosophers, like Socrates or one of them. And he was like, I will study war so that my son can study business, so that his son can study finance or literature, and then his son can study arts. So I think it kind of addresses the fact that when people talk about how come all the rich kids and then nepo babies go into doing films and they get, they do good. Because I think anyone really going into film and that gives it their all, or going into music or going to this will do good. But I think that the whole reason they don't is because the people that aren't rich, they need to make money for their families, and they go into safe paths because it's too dangerous. They can't risk that. And so I think it comes back to the fact that at the end of the day, when you don't have rent or bills or paid anything to worry about, you will choose the path of art. Most people will. And I think that's a natural human thing. I think in terms of having the courage to go do it, I think I couldn't tell you why. I think that's why I chose it, because it just spoke to me.
You took TV production in school.
Yes, that's how it started.
That's how it started. I mean, so it's good and bad. That first of all, good that there are programs like this in school, so you get to try your hand at it. Bad because, from considering from the Indian mindset parent, one would think, if you hadn't been exposed to it, you would have gone the usual science, business route. So it's good and bad. So I mean, I personally felt it was brilliant for kids to have this right in school, because I think the TV studios in your high school is one of state of the art.
Yeah, one of the best. I think
one of the best TV studios that one could have in a high school.
It's more professional. Like there's a news studio at my office now that's more professional than that.
Oh my God, really?
That's what Livingston does, though. It's like I'm very lucky to when we first moved here, I was in 5th grade, and for from 5th grade to 8th grade, I was like, I have no idea why I'm here. Like this is I don't like this town. Like these people are so weird. My first day here. Because we used to live in Denville, and it was like it was much more diverse, and it was much more fun, and it was like, I don't know, I felt more like a kid there. And then I came here, and you had to grow up fast.
Oh.
Because you come into 5th grade, and everyone's talking about like the newest iPhone, this, and the Samsung Galaxy Note 27, whatever. And I didn't know, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know any of these words. I don't know what I don't care. I'm like, I don't have a phone even. So what does it matter to me? We have like the one family computer in the room, and I'm like, I'm fine with that. I'm watching my Woody Woodpecker cartoons on it.
So cute.
And then I think after that first day of 5th grade, I came home and I went on the family computer, but I didn't go watch Netflix like I normally would. I went on like Apple.com, and I went looking up all these things, so I had something to talk about with these kids.
Oh my God.
I know I had to assimilate. And then since then, once I walked into the first day of like 9th grade and I saw that TV studio, I was like, oh, this makes sense. Now I see why I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, actually, so when I was serving on the Board of Ed and I took a whole tour, in that capacity, I had the access to go into different corners of the school.
Yeah.
I mean, even the automobile workshop is so advanced. The carpentry workshop is so advanced, it's really almost like a real life experience.
Yeah, they like, I think my car had broken down a few times when I was out of college or out of high school, but I would send Nick Hill with the car, and he would go in, they're like, bring in your cars, we'll fix them and show you what's wrong with it and how to fix it.
Oh, wow.
Like, I've never heard of that at any other school. It's so cool. I mean, we get free service and they get to learn. Sure, I'll take it.
That's amazing. So it was just on a whim that you decided to go for TV production course?
So in 8th grade, you take a tour of the high school. Mm-hmm. And I think we were walking through all the rooms, and it looks like classroom. Whoa, TV room, what is this? I think that's when I was like, I have to take that class.
That looks cool.
And then I went to high school, and I found it hard to pay attention to my other classes because I was thinking about, I was like, when can I go to TV? Or TV's over, I'm like, when can I go home, sleep, so I wake up and go back to TV?
Oh.
And they had like an A day, B day schedule where you each day you miss one class.
Yes.
And I would just hate those days that I didn't have TV. I was like, I wouldn't even miss school if I had a TV class. Like if I was sick, I would force myself to go.
So that was truly your calling.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I was meant to go to school and learn about like geometry. What am I doing in geometry now?
Well, at least you know what geometry.
I know what it is. I did good in trigonometry. I know the sine and cosine.
Good.
I don't know what I'll ever do with it, but I have it in the back of my mind.
Good. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
So then what did you pursue in college?
So I went, at some point, I think, because when you go into college, usually from TV production, because we did live broadcast TV. Mm-hmm. So those are when nowadays, there is no, like, that's news, it's, shows and like Jimmy Fallon, that's like one of those shows. Or like any sports broadcasting, like that's live broadcast, versus TV is more like TV shows you watch on Netflix. They go there and they film, that's a whole film industry and it's separate. And so normally the majors are all combined. It's a film and TV major at like most, a lot of bigger schools, unless you go to like an art school with a concentration. And so I went to one of those schools, and I went into a film and TV and media arts was my official major name. Okay. But then you kind of take the classes you can choose to focus on whatever you want to focus on. And I think my first year I started doing I kept with the broadcast TV. I joined our broadcast TV channel at school. We had an SNL style show, which if you ask anyone in any kind of school with film, they all have one. And it's never good. No school has a good one. And if they tell you it's good, they're lying. Okay. But it's something. It's better than sitting there and doing nothing for classes. And I think that's what I learned about film school is that film school is not worth the money, but what is worth the money is what you do there. So if you go there and you take the classes and you do the homework and you do the work and the assignments and then you hand it in and you graduate, you wasted all your money. I think you have to do, it's a lot of, the whole point of film school is, so yes, you're learning film, but you can learn film, like the best, greatest filmmakers of all time that we study, they didn't go to film school. They didn't study screenwriting. They just did it, And so you can watch movies and you can learn. You can watch TV and you can learn. And so what I think film school is for is you have to sort of meet with other people and you have to create stuff outside of your classes and you have to, work on these side projects and do whatever, do the most that you possibly can get. Because what it really is they have a bunch of free equipment and lights and cameras and sound and setup and everything. You take that and you make your own stuff with it. That's what it's for.
Very interesting. So you build your tribes, so to say. Very interesting. So you did that. Any projects that you came out of college with?
A lot, yeah. And there's so many people I went to school with that came out with nothing. They had because at the end you do one big, it's called a capstone, or most schools we call it a capstone. I don't know why. Most schools call it a thesis. Your senior thesis film, right?
I think I remember seeing it. You
Mine.
published it.
I don't think maybe I did, yeah.
You published something on LinkedIn or something. Somewhere.
Yeah, but it was that's the so I made most people do it's like a 15-minute short film basically, right? And you spend the whole year working on it, and you crowdfund and you raise money and you budget. And then you make the film and you go edit and put it together. And you hire real actors and everything. So most people get a budget of between $8,000 and $12,000, $15,000, somewhere around there. And you raise it from your friends, your family, all that. And
so what is your role in filmmaking? I mean, I'm sure you know everything about everything, but if you had to just do one thing.
Yeah, I'm a writer and director.
Director.
And then I've leaned more into editing ever since because I edit all my own projects.
Okay, so if you have to be writer and director, given the current social, political, cultural environment, there are a lot of sensitivities that have crept in. A lot of there is. I feel I'm not even in that field, but I feel there is some kind of suppression. There's no the creative freedom is being compromised. I mean, one of my most favorite late night shows, Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, he
just ended, and I thought he is.
He was doing great work.
Amazing talent, and very educated voice also. So it wasn't just silly, goofy entertainment.
Yeah,
it was
he was doing good. He was smart. He was really smart.
Very smart, very meaningful, very purposeful entertainment. And to see a show like that go, you lose hope.
Yeah, it's easy to lose hope.
So when I was doing radio, I used to do the live radio for 16 years. You're aware of that. And when I would initiate a conversation, I would never bring a topic which was political or religious because I found that very sensitive.
It causes discord, a lot of
discord and
division between people.
It's divisive for sure. So I didn't want to corrupt the energy, but people like Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Fallon, to a great extent also, I feel. I mean, some have stayed, some have managed to stay, but Stephen Colbert got taken off the air. Do you worry about creative freedom or lack of?
Yes, in a sense I do, but at the same time, I think it's also they say that when you have the more censored it is, the more uncensored your work becomes, and the more uncensored work is out there. So I think it kind of pushes people to be even more to go even more off the rails than they normally would have, I think.
Interesting.
And you see that now. Obviously, I think the reason for Stephen Colbert is because he was CBS, right? And so a lot of these companies, they're owned by these billionaires, and all of them have a little collective. So if they're friends, they get to if they want to cancel the show, they can cancel the show. And I think some of the other ones are owned by more liberal channels, and so they won't get canceled because they don't care. But I think in terms of where I am, I'm nowhere near having a show that millions of people watch every night, like a late night show. And so the people in my circle and the people in my my peers, social media is reaching more people than cable TV ever did. You can and it could be random. I could make a video of me running around New York screaming, and it would get more views than some show did that they put in all their hard work and writing and effort and thing that night.
Great point.
So
Great
you can
point.
do whatever you want on social media uncensored, and it wouldn't matter, because the whole thing is, even if it's divisive, even if it's causing division, even if it's getting censored, you can still make money off of it, because as long as they're watching, like, all publicity is good publicity. You know, even if you get canceled, you still have even more views than you did before.
That is so true, and you bring a great point, which is that on social media, you can make a goofy video which can have millions of
Yeah,
likes
for no reason.
and you're suddenly making money, you're suddenly becoming rich, and you didn't put any, well, I shouldn't say that, perhaps
No,
there is a
but
lot of
there are people
thought.
who put no effort and they just go screaming around, and that clip gets viral. But then the clip that people spent hours and hours and hard work and money and labor into gets like 15 views.
But sometimes some of these social media influencers also say, or content writers also say, that they put in a lot of thought and work into their little goofy clips,
That's
to say that appear to be goofy
Yes.
clips, but to us it looks like, oh, this is so random.
Yeah, why did
But
this
it's
get?
funny.
Yeah,
I like to watch it.
I think a lot of them will say that. There's like a theory in film, and I think there's like some version of this in every field. But basically, let's say you leave in something accidentally in a film, and the audience is like, they did this because of this and this, and it worked out perfectly, and it was genius. You're not going to deny, yes, that is exactly what I did. That's you always take credit, okay? Even if it's like, you know. So I think it's easy to, after it went viral, to say, yes, it was perfectly planned out in my head. But
That's exactly what I wanted to get out of this.
When you click post, you have no idea what's going to happen. That's the thing. I work in social media now, and we will put out a video, and it goes viral. We have no idea why. No one knows what is going on with social media. The algorithms are completely baffle us. No one knows. I think you're completely just on a whim. You just try everything you can, and you put out all the content you can, and something's bound to stick to the wall.
So what is the right path to follow? Is it that, okay, if I put out 2 reels, one I didn't put any thought into, but it was very well received, and the other one I very artistically created, but did not get the time of the day. So should I study the one that was silly and no work, and try and put out more content like that, or should I just stay true to myself and do what I think is the best work that I can put out?
I think that's a hard one, because I think
I know.
you should do whatever you like doing.
Yeah.
And here's why. Because if, let's say, you know, I enjoy seeing the silly, goofy videos, but also when someone creates a beautiful cinematic masterpiece and puts it on my screen, I love that too. I'm an enjoyer of both of those pieces of content, right? But it depends on the mood I'm in.
That's true.
If I just wake up, I'm tired, I don't want to think, and I see a silly, goofy video, I'm going to send it to my friends. I'm like, hi guys, look at this guy.
Yeah, so all the dog and cat videos that, that
Yeah,
are stress
everything
busters for us.
Yeah, that's if you're in the mood for it, it's amazing. But if you're not, then you see, like, if I'm in the mood for like a more cinematic, I'm looking at like really intellectual content, and someone's breaking down a movie I liked, and they're coming out with a really important, smart take on it. I love that too. I'm like, this makes a lot of sense. I like this. But the thing is, if you switch the moods, and I see either one of those videos when I'm not in the mood for it, I'll scroll right past it.
So perhaps as a creator, you follow your mood too.
Yeah.
I guess, don't limit your creativity. If you're feeling this way one day, do it. If you're feeling the other way, whatever. I guess this is how it's being received on the other end. So just stay true to yourself in the moods that you are in.
Yeah.
At the time of creating
If you
something.
feel like creating a silly, goofy thing, and you feel like creating 50 of those, make 50 of those. I'm sure at some point in those 50, it'll reach the audience that's looking for that, and your video will get big. Or if you're feeling like you want to make a lot of cinematic content, about one video a month, it's going to be harder.
So I have a nephew. He went to School of Visual Arts in Manhattan.
Yeah.
But he had come from Germany, and he's gone back. The company, I mean, he couldn't stay here because of the visa situation. So the company that he was working for here in US briefly, sent him to their office in England. So, but I think he's been working on ads. He's working for an ad.
Ads are big. Ads will always be big.
So there is an outlet.
Ads are, like, I think, the safest place to be in TV.
Because ads are always going to happen.
always going to be happening. Always going to be making ads.
Music videos.
Music videos are much less, I think. Ads are, because the audience for music videos is like not as big as it used to be.
Interesting.
I mean, it's on what's it called? It used to be on MTV.
That's right.
And then they had like the Vivo music videos on YouTube.
No, but then there are many people actually on Instagram. When I'm scrolling suddenly, I'll find that if I come across reels of singers.
Yeah, they make reels of their music, but
the singing with a really good choreographed setup.
Yeah.
So I mean, I always wonder, a lot of money has been spent in creating
Yeah.
that whole set. So, because, I sing too. So a friend of mine had suggested many years ago, and she said, Vanita, we should, because I recorded the audio of my singing.
Yeah.
And when she heard it, she was very impressed. And she said, she's in the video creative field herself. So she said, I would love to create a video for this. And I have such a beautiful plan in mind.
Yeah.
So, but it's going to cost you so much money. And I looked at her, I said, are you crazy? I'm not selling the set, I'm selling my voice, if at
Yeah.
all. If at all. I'm not selling my voice either. But if at all I want to draw attention, it's to the sound.
The
I don't want
music.
the set to be drawing attention. But I've also realized that the reels that I stop, the reels that I stop and pay attention to are the ones with the beautiful set. So I guess it is important to have
Yeah.
that good visual so that I can, then the person who's scrolling will pause and hopefully then want to listen to the performance as
Yeah.
well.
I got to work on some of these, on some of these music videos that are like made for social media now. And I guess you're right. I don't consider them as music video-y because it's not like horizontal.
Yeah.
And that's my mindset of thinking music videos should be horizontal. But now they're making they're just taking random clips now. And like I worked with this one girl and she had us take, I did 2 videos with her. And I was a PA, production assistant helping out. And the first video was like a full horizontal, like old fashioned, like a music video for the full song. And the second one it was all vertical and it didn't seem like it was like a music video. It just seemed like she was taking clips and I was confused. And then I waited till she posted because I was like, I'm ready to post about this for my stuff and say like, look, let's go support this. But then she posted like a bunch of separate reels about it and I was really confused. And I was like, oh, that's what it was for. It was just, she wanted to make like 6 or 7, like 8 different reels out of this one shoot we did for like 3 hours in a studio. And those got like, she's, I think they got her like 10,000 extra followers now.
That's amazing.
And it makes so much sense. I'm like, I guess that is technically, they're music videos, but like not what I consider to be a music video. So I think that's why. But yeah, I mean, that's what draws people in is the cool sets. Like the set we worked on was a cool set. It was like an infinity pool thing it was like all dark and it was like a Halloween music video. And it was like a grave or like a coffin sitting there in the middle and she came out of the coffin and started singing. I was like, it's attention grab. It's very cool. And then I think the whole point is she is selling herself. She wants to get bigger. She wants to, and it worked out in her favor.
Awesome. So what are you doing these days?
These days,
while you find the ultimate job for you or work for you?
So, I mean, I'm working in social media now, like I said. I'm running some socials for some cable companies from a company that used to be NBC. And I think what I've learned is, you know how they say the grass is always greener? For so long I was like, I wish I just had a job. Like, I just want a job. I want to go work in New York and, be working in New York. And, I see the sitcoms and it looks really fun. And then I'm sitting there on the commute half the days and I'm like, I wish I could be a filmmaker full time and I didn't have to do this job. And I think I wish I had focused more on that during all the time I was job applying and sending out emails and cold LinkedIn messages and all that. But it's all hindsight, I think. It's the same thing as when I make a mistake and I leave it in and they're like, did you do it on purpose? Yeah, I did it on purpose. But it's all in hindsight. If I look back, I wish I was doing this, but obviously best I can do is do it now.
Yeah, I think having tried and regretting is better than not having tried at all.
Yeah,
so it's
exactly.
okay. I think you're testing the waters. You're very, very young still. So, and you know what? Life is all about experiences.
Yeah.
So there is no right age to stop. There are a lot of people who do one profession for decades and suddenly one day just drop it.
Yeah.
I actually have a friend he's much older than us, but he was a doctor, psychologist by profession.
Yeah.
But he really loved the mountains and he loved to hike. So one day he decided to drop his medical profession.
Wow.
And he took on hikes, and then he was so good. He used to go to the Everest base camp and hike in Nepal and all of those cool places that he became a leader, one of those.
Yeah, like they lead the trips.
Lead the trips.
Wow.
And they would actually fly him down business class so that he would lead the trips. And so he was happy.
Yeah.
He was very happy doing something, he said, enough is enough. I've raised my children. They are settled. Now I want to follow my passion. So there is no right or wrong time to find something that you truly love.
I think I'm very lucky to have found that early.
You have, exactly. And if you just stay connected with your passion, for this
For
field.
as long as I can, I should be good. I'm excited.
Yes, yes. The universe will open doors.
Yeah.
As long as you believe in yourself. This has been so lovely talking to you. I didn't even realize so much time has passed in this conversation. But this has been a beautiful conversation. Armaan, I have seen you grown up, and it's been a pleasure. I'm very, very proud of you. And I wish everything that you can wish for from the universe, may it be yours. And just stay who you are. You are wonderful.
Thank you.
Love you very much.
Love you too.
Thank you for tuning in to OATS Uncut. I hope you enjoyed this conversation, and I hope you got your own message, because every conversation has a secret message for everyone, and I hope you found yours. Take care of yourself, stay well, stay safe. Remember to love and to laugh, and we shall meet again.